A map that knows your name, a tunnel that breathes, one word that changes the door, asterisk. Night settles over red earth. Wind carries the scent of iron and dust. Stars hang low like watchful lanterns. Grass whispers against stone. My boots find the old track. A map warms the inside of my palm. One name is etched in pencil. Traoré or etched. The entrance hides. Beneath a ring of stones, I kneel and brush away brittle grass. Metal winks through soil like a buried moon. A seam of cold air kisses my wrist. I listen for engines and hear only crickets. My breath forms a small cloud in the heat. I lift the hatch and stare into darkness. Cool air rises and smells of wet clay. Stairs fall into a slow spiral. My light grazes compacted laterite walls. Numbers appear in faded blue stencils. Pipes run like veins overhead. Somewhere behind the stone, something hums. I take the first step and count carefully. The hatch closes without a sound. Silence grows. Firm around my shoulders, the tunnel floor changes. Underfoot. Grit gives way to polished slate. My beam slides over marks of old boots. Scuffs stop at a thin painted line. Beyond it, dust lies pure and untouched. I taste copper at the back of my tongue. The air holds the memory of rain. Drops. Tap metal and measure steady time. Vents exhale in a gentle rhythm. Mirrored domes nest in the ceiling. Red diodes blink like distant embers. A handprint plate waits under thin dust. I keep my hands at my sides. The hum deepens and smooths. My pulse, heat fades and leaves a calm chill. My skin tightens as if watched. Each corridor carries a rumor older than maps. They say Traoré built under horizons, not for battle, for quiet and shelter, a place where messages travel without sky, a place that keeps secrets safer than vaults. I follow arrows, ghosted by time, paint flakes like old, snow under my light. The tunnel bends and widens into a hexagon. Steel ribs arch like the bones of a ship. Names are etched into the supports. Traoré or etched repeats in clean and patient strokes. Beneath each name rests a date. Some dates rest in years not yet lived. My throat dries at the sight of them. I reach out and feel cool metal. I pull back and wipe clay from my fingers. A door of layered glass spans the corridor. Faint lights drift inside like trapped lightning. A panel wakes when my shadow crosses it. Glyphs glow in a language I almost know. The door accepts my presence without a sound. Inside, the room opens like a valley of screens. Maps breathe across curved walls. Cities shimmer as soft constellations. A thin chair waits, turned toward a blank display. The blank display trembles like held breath, then it blooms with light and movement. My face appears from above, and behind me. Another feed shows. My hands at the hatch. A third feed shows me still on the surface. Time argues with itself and loses shape. The hum resolves into a steady tone. A voice speaks my name from the ceiling. The voice is calm and close. It uses a name no one uses. It sets the syllables. Carefully in the air, I swallow and feel the tunnel listen. Drawer slides open under the console. Cold air spills over my wrists. Inside rests a braided wire bracelet. The metal feels warmer than skin. It pulses once and sleeps again. The room dims as if to hear. Dust lifts in a thin halo around my boots. On the armrest, a nameplate slides open. My name is printed beneath Traoré. The font matches my own handwriting. I have not written it in this place. Screens tilt to a cross. Section of earth. Lines run like roots under desert and forest. Glowing nodes sweep under. Coasts and mountains, they blink with a rhythm close to my pulse. The network listens to land and weather. It listens to steps and the weight of silence. It waits for one answer from one voice. I feel the answer forming behind my teeth. The entrance returns on the largest screen. The hatch stands open to the night. Above, a figure waits at the rim of light. The posture is mine, and so is the bag. The figure raises a hand to the camera. The feed brightens as if in greeting. Somewhere behind the glass, a lock releases. The door I used begins to close in slow grace. Shadows gather along the seam of the floor. The bracelet warms and pulses again. The chair turns until it faces me fully. Maps fold themselves into a single point of light. The voice pronounces Traoré with perfect care. Every diode holds its breath. I feel the whole tunnel lean toward my answer. Asterisk, the word forms in the cradle of my mouth. It waits like a seed in winter. The bracelet hums. Against my skin. It hums in time with my blood. The chair lowers by a slow breath. The floor warms to a quiet hearth heat. The voice folds itself into the air. It speaks with care and patience. Hold your answer. Listen first. The tone is soft, almost kind. It sounds like dry leaves turning pages. It sounds like the hush inside rain. It sounds familiar in a way I cannot place. I keep my jaw still and my eyes open. My tongue tastes of iron and bitter stone. The largest map opens like a pupil. Contours swell into layers of earth. A fine lattice appears under the bedrock. It threads between old rivers and buried roads. It bends away from fault. Lines like a careful hand. At each crossing a faint light rests. At each light a name waits. Traoré repeats among them like a quiet chord. These lines are breaths, the voice says. They are not weapons. They carry shelter, water, and calm. They carry messages by touch and weight. They carry a way of speaking without sky. They listen to the small and the sudden. They listen to flood and fire and silence. They listen for those who step alone. My shoulders loosen without my consent. The room feels wider and less sharp. The air loses its chill and gathers warmth beneath the calm. A pulse of awe rises. Beneath the awe, a seam of fear holds. The figure at the hatch remains on the screen. It waits like a question in a doorway. Its stillness shines brighter than motion. Another screen lifts from the desk. Blueprints spread like white fields of snow. Notes march in clean rows of ink. Curves meet angles with patient care. Margins hold small sketches of hands. Each hand wears the same braided bracelet. Next to a diagram is a signature. The signature is mine in steady strokes. I lean forward as if to smell it. Paper almost seems to breathe under glass. My heart leaves its place and sits in my mouth. I measure each breath as though hired to do it. The bracelet warms as if an answer. The chair raises its armrests a fraction. The hum of the tunnel grows thinner. Outside, a cricket pauses and listens in. Accept the line, the voice says, or refuse the line. Both paths are part of the design. The words settle like seeds on water. I do not trust my voice yet. I nod and feel the chair register it. A faint click ticks under my elbow. Somewhere behind me a shutter slides. The mirrored domes catch my face in shards. Each shard shows a patience I barely feel. A faint scent of cedar moves through the vents. The scent washes over the smell of clay. It reminds me of locked drawers at home. It reminds me of a school desk in winter. Memory brushes the inside of my ribs. The tunnel hears it and hums lower. Traoré is a duty, the voice says. It is a pattern anyone may wear. It is a name that keeps doors open. It is older than one person. It moves to the next pair of hands. My fingers rest on the armrests. Light as birds, the bracelet tightens a fraction around my wrist. The pulse within it answers my own pulse. The figure at the hatch raises both hands. Its palms glow pale in nightlight. It is me without the film of dust. It is me without the small tremor. The figure mouths a word that I know. The feed carries no sound from the surface. I hear the syllables inside my skull instead. They strike with the weight of a bell. I stand before I know I have stood. The chair eases back to give room. The door behind the glass remains open. Air moves over my cheeks like cool water. I step once and the screens adjust. The map follows like a cautious animal. The lights along the lattice brighten. They brighten in waves that follow my breath. A corridor is drawn on the wall. Labels appear in simple white. Script. Archive. Spine. Relay. Returned. Under return a faint arrow flickers. The flicker matches the bracelet pulse. The hum changes as I face the corridor. The tone picks up a thread of melody. It is a song I half remember. It is sung at small tables at dusk. It is hummed when thunder pauses in the distance. It is the kind of song that mends a day. I do not sing it out loud. The tunnel sings the shape of it back. I walk and the floor softens a little. The slate gives underfoot like pressed felt. The walls curve toward my shoulders. They do not touch. And they do not crowd. They steady me as a hand on a railing. The lights lift ahead like lanterns in fog. The air cools and dries my hands. My breath becomes even. and calm. At the first door, a glyph rests. It looks like a path through reeds. Under it, the name Spine is set. I touch the edge with one fingertip. A small vibration acknowledges the touch. The door slides into the wall as if it sighs. The room beyond glows like a library without books. Shelves hold coils of transparent thread. Each coil glows with a slow heart. Each pulse feels like a quiet footstep. Labels run along the shelves like rivers. Dates range across years and places. Some dates wait in years. Not yet named. My breath stumbles but does not fall. The walls carry my pause and soften around it. Dust specks hang like a field of stars. These are roots, the voice explains. Each coil holds a path of care. Water, grain, and light can move inside them. Names attached to paths for memory only. No one owns the roots. Someone tends them when called. The voice pauses as if to look at me. The silence rests without weight. I move to the nearest coil. My name glows on its quiet label. Under my name sits a place I have not seen. Under the place sits a date that has not arrived. The fiber is cool and smooth as river glass. I feel a charge gather around my fingertips. It does not hurt and it does not press. It waits for a word I have not said. My throat tightens from the inside. My eyes water though the air is dry. I set both hands behind my back. I stand very straight and very still. I listen for my own breath and nothing else. The tunnel reduces itself to that sound. The voice lowers until it is almost wind. It is not a command, it says. If you accept, you learn the roots. You carry signals across soil and stone. You wake wells before a thirsty day. You open a door when a quiet knock comes. You leave no marks that harm the ground. You move like a root under the storm. You do not open where a step will fall. You carry calm more than anything else. The figure at the hatch looks down. It seems to read something in the dark. It raises a hand as if to shade its eyes. It looks at the horizon outside the frame. Light on the screen shifts like moonlight in water. A gust of wind trips over the open hatch. Fine dust spirals and dances over the rim. The figure waits and does not step away. I turn from the coils to the second door. Archive waits with its simple name. The glyph is a square held by a circle. It feels like a held breath made visible inside the room. The air is colder. The lights are lower and softer. A table stands in the center. Like a garden bed, on it rests a stack of thin black plates. Each plate holds a whisper of text. The letters glow when my shadow crosses them. They form lines I know from memory. I hear a voice from years ago reading them. The voice is mine and not mine. It is older than I am now. It speaks with patience. I have not earned. It tells me a path I have not walked. The hair at the back of my neck lifts. My palms grow warm despite the cool air. The bracelet tightens and then eases. The plates shift without hands. A diagram rises like a mountain from paper. It shows a tunnel beneath. A place I love. It shows the tunnel open like a hand. It shows a bright line leading to a door. The door in the diagram has a mark. The mark is the same as my ring. I did not wear this ring when I arrived. I look down and find it on my finger. The band is simple and dull in the light. It fits as if it has always been there. I lift my hand and the ring warms. The map on the plate brightens in answer. I breathe and taste the green of cut stems. A memory of a morning rises like mist. Dew on a wooden step. A bowl of water standing still. A window that looks toward a distant ridge. A folded note under a small stone. The note bears the same glyph as Spine. The day moves through me like quiet weather. The voice returns and walks beside my thoughts. Traoré is a bridge you can pick up. It does not ask for praise. It asks for a steady ear and a patient hand. It asks that you do not break ground in anger. It asks that you keep your name light. You can step away and the paths will sleep. You can step in and they will wake. The word returns to my tongue like a tide. It waits with weight and ease. The map of lines glows to a softer gold. The hum smooths out into a simple tone, a faint mechanical breath sighs. Behind the wall, small indicator lights rise through the floor like seeds. They shimmer and settle in a wide ring around me. They outline a circle that fits my stride. The figure at the hatch steps back. A new figure stands where it stood. The new figure is also me. The two of us share the same bag strap. The two of us share the same set jaw. One looks down and one looks up. Their movements do not track each other. Time on the surface begins to fold like cloth. A third feed wakes along the left wall. It shows a room I have not seen yet. It shows a bed and a lamp and a coat. It shows the braided bracelet on a hook. It shows a door with the word return. The door in the feed is ajar. The lamp burns low, as if near dawn. The thin light touches the edge of a map. The scent of cedar deepens in the vents. I feel it line the inside of my lungs. I feel the earth under the tunnel shift. It shifts like a sleeper turning in bed. Fine dust lifts and settles in radiant lines. The bracelet pulses twice in quick time. The chair clicks once behind me. The glass door breathes in and holds. I step back into the hexagon room. The screens follow like courteous birds. My boots find the first scuff marks again. The thin painted line rests before my toes. Beyond it, the dust lies pure and undisturbed. I feel the weight of that quiet space. It feels like a table set for one. It feels like the last seat on a train. The voice lowers until it meets my bones. Say yes, it says. Say no, it says. Say later, it adds, and the word feels kind. Any path is a path. Any answer is an answer. The room releases the held breath. The lights do not push and do not plead. I look at my hands in the glow. A faint network of light runs under my skin. It follows my veins like soft rivers. It blushes at my wrists and fades at my elbow. It echoes the lattice on the map. I hold my hands just above the armrest. I feel the circle of indicator lights gather. I feel the entire tunnel become still. My throat opens like a door on quiet hinges. The word in my mouth leans toward speech. The figure at the hatch lifts a hand again. The two figures on the surface do not match. One raises the left hand. One raises the right. The wind above shifts and carries dust south. The lamp in the unseen. Room stadies. The ring on my finger waits with a small heat. Asterisk ending the word moves from breath to voice. Yes. It leaves my mouth like a smooth stone into water. Ripples run along the walls. The bracelet answers with a clear pulse. The floor sets itself. Like settled sand, the tone in the room finds a home note. The air feels newly washed on the screen. The two figures tilt and align. Left hand lowers. Right hand lowers. They merge into one. Silhouette at the hatch. The silhouette looks up with my eyes. The hatch closes with a gentle seal of light. Night gathers itself above and grows quiet. The nameplate beside the armrest slides open. Traoré. Hold steady. My name rises in pale letters. It drifts above the metal. Like breath in winter. It sets itself beside the older name. The two names tilt toward each other. They meet and become one line. The voice returns in the center of the room. It returns with the timbre of my own throat. It speaks in my cadence and my pauses. Welcome. It says. Welcome back, it adds, and the words deepen the floor. A brief, clean shiver runs the length of the tunnel. Every diode answers with a soft blink. The mirrored domes gather 100. Small me. Each shard shows a slightly older face. Each face watches with a calm. I now recognize. The recognition arrives like a small jolt at the heart. Discomfort and relief meet like cool and warm water. For breath, I do not know which one I feel more. The hum steadies and holds me where I stand. Maps widen, then fold to a simple lattice. The lattice glows in a patient amber, roots light and dim like thought. A few points rise brighter than the rest. They settle when I look at them. They wait when I look away. They feel less like roads and more like promises. The door labeled return opens on a small exhale. The air beyond smells of linen and rain. The room from the third feed waits with its low lamp. The bracelet on the hook is gone. It rests on my wrist and answers the light. The lamp tilts a soft circle across the floor. The circle leads toward a narrow stair. I turn once in the hexagon and listen. The tunnel listens back with full attention. Steel ribs hold their breath and then release it. Pipes tick with settling heat. Dust falls in slow, bright threads. The calm is not empty. The calm is full of watchfulness. Final panel slips from the console. It shows a simple message in clear script. You will leave no shadow that frightens. You will open where care can pass. You will close where Harm would enter, you will carry the line lightly, you will be carried by it in turn. I let the words pass through me like wind through. Reeds. The ring on my finger warms and cools. The warmth feels like a hand, clasped and released. The coolness feels like clear water on the tongue. I nod once and the room signs back in light. The chair settles as if it has been thanked. The glass door draws wide and waits. I step into the corridor with soft solace. The walls ease around my shoulders, the floor rises a fraction to meet my feet. I pass the painted line and leave it bright. I pass the polished slate and hear it sing my steps. I pass the spiral and feel the earth. Breathe close, clay and stone give off a scent like rain in a cave. Stairs climb toward the hatch with patient turns. Air grows warmer and tastes of dust and seed. Crickets resume their careful counting. The seam of the hatch finds my fingertips. Metal answers with a gentle, living chill. I lift and night pours in like a lake. Stars lower themselves until they nearly touch. Wind brushes the grass into a soft current. The ring of stones becomes a compass under my knees. The horizon wears a slim silver band. The map in my palm folds itself to a neat square. It feels lighter than paper and heavier than memory. I set it against my heart and it rests there. The bracelet answers with one clear beat. I ease the hatch closed with both hands. It settles without complaint. The seam hides. Back under brittle grass. The earth smooths itself like a hand across a sheet. Only the scent of clay and a hush of cold remain. Even that hush thins and joins the night. My breath becomes part of the open air. I stand until my eyes adjust to the distance. The sky is a quiet field of lamps. The land holds the sound of small sleepers. Somewhere a slow animal moves through scrub. Somewhere a wellhead clicks and resets. Somewhere a grain store hums a soft, even hum. The lattice underfoot whispers in time with my pulse. I shoulder the bag and feel its friendly weight. The strap finds its old bruise and sits there without pain. The ring rests cool against the inside of my finger. The glyph on the band catches a thin star and keeps it. I look once more at the stones and the grass. They look back with no sign at all. That absence feels like a promise kept. I take a step and the ground holds me. I take another and the wind makes a path. The name on the inner plate travels with me. It does not press, and it does not fade. It is a key that asks for a listening hand. It is a door that opens under careful feet. It is a duty that wears a human voice. Behind me the tunnel settles to patient work. Roots adjust to breath and weather. Shelter nods awake in places that need it. Door waits for a knock that will come. A valve closes where a flood would run. Light rests in coils and wakes when asked. Silence returns to places where fear had stood. I walk the ridge until the line of land lifts. Dawn rounds the world with a slow, sure hand. The first birds test the air with small notes. My shadow grows and then thins at my feet. The bracelet hums once and then sleeps. The ring cools and keeps its quiet fire. The path ahead carries the taste of cedar and rain. I do not look. Back again, the ground remembers for me. The map rests against my heart. The name rests against my tongue. The world breathes and I breathe with it. Traoré walks under my skin like a steady river. The day opens and I step into it.